Yes, guys, and welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102. Rewind, Regens. So we've hit this a couple of times, but you know, as I'm trying to do of late, is try and rerun a few videos, sort of, you know, just redo them for the benefit of anyone that might have missed them. So Regens. Now, what are they? Who are they? What, you know, most of you, I'm sure, will know what a regen is. A player, upon retiring from CM, he then will reappear. He'll have a different name, but he will have the same nationality. Actually, it comes to that. He'll have the same PA. So we'll take Ronaldo, for example. Ronaldo, if he's got a 200 PA, as soon as he retires from the game after season 1, he will return under a different name. He'll have the same PA. He won't necessarily have the same CA. Well, he won't, because he's got to build. And he'll also be the same foot. So that was my example of Ronaldo. So I've fired up a game here as we are now to start season 9. So this is a great opportunity for me to show you Regens, and let's show you Ronaldo. So there's Ronaldo. Now normally when you're looking for a regen, so if you know that Ronaldo's retired, you're looking for his regen. He will regen in Portugal, or he'll regen as a no club. Now, what you need to do really, I mean, people use third-party programs for this. I'm a bit against that. But if you're going through the whole of Portugal, you've got to really, I mean, this is what I tend to do. So there you see, he regened as a youngster at Sporting, which was lucky really, because they're one of the first teams I always check when I go through Portugal. But he might regen at a complete random Portuguese team. There's no guarantee it's going to be a top flight. It's likely to be a good team, but you know, and normally if I was flicking through and I saw a half decent striker and I'd look at his history and I'd think, well, he's only just arrived, it's got to be Ronaldo. Now, they are 3 attributes that used to be, they never used to change on a regen. They do on the update though, and I think they can change by 1 or 2 on the ODB. So I'm actually contradicting something I said in one of the previous videos here. Balance 20, bravery 15, and flair 19. So let's just say 20, 15, 19 for sure. Now when the game starts, if you look at Ronaldo, his balance, bravery, flair is 20, 15, 19. Sometimes they do alter. In fact, I know for a fact, I never used to think they did, but they do. But his preferred foot would always be the same, and he'll be Portuguese. Now there is a possibility, if Ronaldo had a second nationality, let's say he was French, he could regen as a French national. So that is definitely possible. And then of course if they're playing, you know, they don't always turn into the player that you want them to. I mean, you can see Ronaldo. I mean, I bought a lot of these when I was at Leeds in this game. So let's take a look at Jonathan Hernandez. Well, you don't even need to see the note to see who that's possibly, but you can. That's Suarez. Of course, it could be Cavani. Now I'm looking at the balance, bravery, flair, and I don't think that's changed. I know that is Suarez. There is another Uruguayan somewhere who I think is Cavani. Okay, so he was available. He popped up on the school search, and when I saw him, I thought, oh, KDB's retired, because he hadn't retired. So we know that that's KDB. I don't know if I think some of his is changed, but that is definitely KDB. What he's turning into at the age of 18. Manuel Neuer, he's getting better and better. I think his handling and reflexes were both 12 apiece. I don't know if that is Jack Grealish, this one here. I could be wrong on that, to be honest with you. I don't think Matt's seen that one, but I think that's Jack Grealish. But we shall see. I had him when I was at Leeds, and Jeffrey Platt, I'm pretty sure that's VVD. I'm pretty certain it is. There can't be many South Koreans forward, right, left, centre, either foot, who are like sort of looking pretty fucking worldy. So that I'm guessing that is Son. Harry Kane. Harry Kane's getting better and better in the game. Mane. There aren't many Senegals. Same position as Son. Now that, I think, is Falco. There's actually 2 Colombians. Falco. There aren't certainly many Polish strikers. Lewandowski, but he's not turned into the player that I wanted him to. And I said that Matt's got Neymar. I think Matt's got Neymar. That's not Neymar. I don't know why I thought that was Neymar, because he is forward, left, centre. My mistake on that. So, there is one thing I will show you, right? This is quite important. And I noticed this on mine and Matt's last game. Now, we all know a certain Lamine Yamal. He's a Spanish 73 capped, according to this. Now, as you look at his second nationality, he plays for Equatorial Guinea. Now, when we played before, he retired and he regened as an Equatorial Guinea player, which I thought, hey, because I was tracking him to see that he'd gone, because obviously he's going to be one of the last players that retires in a game, and that's what happened. So that can happen as well. Now, one of the patches on Nick's Patcher is you can have your regens regen to a higher repped country. So, for example, let's take Son, for example. So, rather than regen to a team in South Korea, he could regen to a team in England because they're a high rep. I don't personally like that. I don't like the sound of it. I really don't. I'd rather be looking in South Korea for him. I'd rather be looking for Ronaldo in Portugal, Messi in Argentina. Hang on a minute, I just thought, where's Messi? I had Messi, but I don't remember seeing him. There he is. Did I not write him? Oh, I did. But I haven't got him on my shortlist. That's what it was. So that's Messi. He's getting better and better. Yeah, I would rather them go to the respective country of where they're from. That's just that really is just my opinion. But it is very, very possible, right? Let's take, for example, now. Let's say that Haaland. No, we won't take Haaland. We'll take Mbappe. Let's say Mbappe retires in a moment. Now, his regen can appear immediately. It can take a couple of weeks. But once he's retired, and when I say retired, he's got to be out of the game completely. So the player stats must be gone. They must be gone. If he becomes a manager somewhere, but he still has player attributes, that's what happened with KDB, it means that he's still in the game as a player, because he might get sacked as a manager and still come back as a player. But until he goes, he'll then come back. It might be immediately. It tends to be quite quick on the update that the regens come back. Now, if he comes back in France, you know you're looking at France, but you might be looking in France everywhere and can't find him. You'll know him if you found him, because you'll find a forward, right, left, centre, and he'll look fucking decent. But he may appear as no club. Now, if you find, in fact, let's do it on school search. See if we've got anybody with no club. No, we haven't. Okay. So let's pretend then Mbappe appears as a no club. So you could be completely none the wiser. I've gone for this guy actually at St Mirren. Let's just pretend this guy's a regen and he's Finnish. You're looking in Finland, but you can't because he's appeared here. Do you know what I mean? I know he's not. He's a Brentford player. I think he's a Brentford anyway. No, not Brentford. I brought him from Brentford in one of my games. So it is really, it's a lot of pot luck. If Messi comes back, right, as a free transfer, you don't get him, then he moves, and he can go to absolutely anywhere in the world, and it can be almost impossible to get him. You might find him, of course, on the player search, but bear in mind the player search will only locate famous players in your region. So, it's a tricky one. Now, let me also remind you something about regens, guys, is that regens don't always arrive as an under 20-year-old. So, you might start a game, you might have a game as Man United, and you might get a youth academy in after a couple of seasons. Let's pretend after 5 seasons you get this player called Billy Neville, okay? Now, let's take Aston Villa. So, Aston Villa, in 28-29, got a youth academy, and the reason you can tell it's a youth academy is because it would say free. So, because it doesn't say, it means that he arrived through the youth academy. Now, with AI, they can arrive like so at any age. But with you as a human manager, it's got to be under 20. I'm sure you can't get a 20-year-old. And of course, a regen, that's Harry Kane, of course, a regen might come through. I remember on my three-man game with Pep and Ian, albeit it's an older update, I remember the Zlatan Ibrahimovic regen came in as a 25-year-old. I was like, what the fuck? So he weren't going to arrive, and it's very difficult to find as well. But there aren't really many Swedish strikers, so in a way it weren't so difficult. So that is your Rewind Regens, guys. Hopefully that's been of some help to somebody. Till next time from me, take it easy.